in the cloud? Okay. All right. Hope everyone is well. I know that you guys are busy during this time of the semester. But I wanted to just talk about the internship. So I actually wanted to do this like before the APA meeting, but then some things came up and I couldn't do it. Can you see like the screen, right?
Yes, I can see.
Okay, excellent. All right, so as you know, like the internship, it is a requirement of our program, and it's only like one credit hour. And then usually this like internship, you sign up with me. So you have to fill out like a variable credit form, which I will show you at the end. And so it is a pass and fail. And then you turn in like a report at the end of your internship. So there's not like I mean it's not like a class, but this the one thing that it is like incorporated also in the internship is like I will give you like access to Canvas. So you actually like practice for the AICP exam. So that will be kind of like part of like what you're doing while also like working in a industry, or maybe is in the university, whatever that might be. And so the other thing I wanted to say about that is that the majority of you will do like an internship in industry, right? But some of you might do an internship in the university. And if you are interested in research, this would be like a good option for you. And again, like if you're doing a thesis and you're doing research, in the summer you can find a job with a professor and maybe get that done. And then that could be your internship. That's usually also a good alternative for some international students that might be a little bit more challenging to find a visa. If you cannot find an internship, we will also help you to get that done. And it could be with like some project, like with Texas Target Communities, which is like one of our research institutes. They do work with like communities, and they could give you an unpaid internship, for instance. Although many times they actually do have paid internships as well, and you can do it with them. So there's like various options. Since it's something that you need to complete, we are very flexible on like how we make sure that you have that work experience, including like if you have past work experience. Maybe you already have like Damian, I know that you have experience, and there might be other of you that also have jobs that are related to planning. You can count that as your internship as well, retroactively. And then it has to go through like a process of like finding out more information on that, but we could definitely explore that. Of course, you will still not have to register for the course, still do those like AICP things, I still do a report at the end. Are there any questions about this so far? No. Okay. Well, this is just in the handbook. It's just what are the milestones for the first year. And so right now in the first semester, obviously you should be thinking about your internship, which is the reason that we're doing this. You should also be thinking about your comprehensive exam. It's like a final study, and the final study is like a comprehensive exam, a thesis, or a professional paper. So this is why I sent the other day an email saying that it might be a good idea for you to get to do a class outside of our department in order for you to start a relationship with someone that could be your external advisor. Well, why? Because like by next semester, I'm gonna like ask you in April, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to do a comprehensive exam? Are you trying to do a thesis or a professional paper? And I sent you an email about that so you could see like what other students have done in the past. Some of you already like selected if you have an emphasis area and put like a tentative advisor that you want to ask, but you need two other people to help you out. And then that would be someone that is internal to the department and also someone that is external to the department. What that has anything to do with the internship? Well, if you are going to do something related to transportation, it's a good idea that you try to get internship in that field. We are very flexible, as I said, but the more that you think about what you want to do in the future, maybe if it's like research and you really want to do a thesis, then thinking about those things together, it helps you to create a path for what you like to do. Now, students, as you can see here, like the beginning of the second semester, students are already thinking about their internship opportunities, and it is like the next thing that you need to do is actually create a degree plan. So a degree plan is just you're going to tell to the university what are the next classes that you're going to take in the summer, in the fall, and then for the next semester so you can graduate. A degree plan is something that you can revise. So if you start to say, I'm going to take these classes, but then you learn about another class, you can change it. Like, that's okay. But the important part is that the next semester, you already should be forming your committee and tell us who will be the people that will be part of your final study. And with that, in the summer, while you do your internship, you're also start thinking about your professional paper, which, by the way, if you do work in industry and you work in a project with them, you can transform that into a professional paper. Or again, like if you choose a thesis, you're working with a faculty member on creating a research paper, publishing a research paper, and that be part of your thesis because you know that you want to do a PhD, then that is like the route for you. Now, I highly encourage you to start doing this by April, right? I will start to bug you. And this is very important, particularly for the international students, because the international students take a few weeks for you to get like a work permit. And so you need to do this first in order to say, in order to get a work permit, you need to submit to the International Studies Office. Basically, it's like a form that says that that the program is requiring you to have an internship, and this is why you will get permission to work in the United States outside of the university. So basically, that takes weeks. And it's something that I have to sign, other people have to sign. We need also information from the employer as well. So the earlier that you know about an internship, the better, right? Because sometimes the employer wants you to work right away, and it's like you're an international student, so it takes 3 weeks or 4 weeks to get this done, and that can be an issue. However, there could be like a little bit of delay. So when I said, that is in April, maybe it could be it can take a little bit longer. The important thing for the international students is that it has to be in the summer, and there's 2 periods of the summer. So there's like one that basically is May to June, and then another one that is like July to August. So you can register for the class at any of those 2 periods, but the earlier you get this done, the better, because that means that you can work. You can probably work out with an employer to work more than 120 hours that you are required to work, and then earn some income based on that. So for the domestic students, you do not have to register in the summer. Still, it's a good idea to get your committee together to just do the internship in the summer, but you don't have to register for the class. So usually what we do is that you register in the fall semester, even though you do the internship in the summer semester. The reason for that is because the summer semester is more expensive. So unfortunately for the international students, it has to be in the summer. But for domestic students, we can register you in the fall like a regular semester, but everyone is at the same time doing, ideally, is doing the internship in the summer semester. Now, that could be also, as I said, the internship could be accounted retroactively. It could be that some people do it in the fall. It could be that you find an internship right now and you do it in the spring. That's okay. But like the bulk of people do it in the summer because it's the time that you actually have more time to be able to dedicate to do a job. Are there any questions about this? Okay, so I see no questions. So this is just kind of like showing you at the second year what happens. So then if you're an international student and you do your class in the summer, you do a report in the summer because you are receiving credit for summer 1 or summer 2. Again, this is a pass fail. But if you are a domestic student, ideally when you will do the report when you remember, right? Which is like just in August, you should submit a report. But some students like wait until the end of the semester. At the end of the semester, the professor being like, if it's a thesis, it will be the professors that are doing maybe part of your research, or if not, it will be me, then I will put pass or fail by, you have to submit it by December 5th, really. And then I think that this is telling you more about what happens in terms of like finishing everything. And I will continue talking about that, even though this is about internships. What this is saying is that you will also, as I said, in the summer, you can start working on in your thesis or your professional paper. You can decide to take a comprehensive exam. The comprehensive exam is like the ISCP exam. The ISCP exam is going to be offered. They just changed it, but they haven't like announced this, but it's like, I have to look it up, but it's like you can take it, I think it's like from May to the end of September. So then if you're planning for that, you can take that exam and then fulfill some of the requirements for that. But the point being is that by March, you should have like basically your report done. Hopefully your PowerPoint will be very close to done. You need to defend your any of these because it's a final study. You still need to meet with faculty that are 3 members of your committee to defend this, even if it's an exam. And the exam, there's other parts of it like a portfolio and an essay part. So you need to meet with them by the week after spring break. And after that, obviously, you will finish and basically graduate. We do like an exit survey and just celebrate your graduation the first week of May. Are there any questions about this? No. Okay. So as I said, this internship is 120 hours. You can do a lot more. So what I have seen, sometimes like some students might get unpaid work and then they register this for their requirements, but then later on they keep working into finding an internship and they can get a paid one, right? So that's to say that you can work a lot more, you can do different things. I highly recommend, like, if you're volunteering, don't do more than you're required, which is the 120 hours. But obviously, if you're getting paid, then do a lot more, because that's a great thing. The other thing is that for the AICP experience, like in order to get that certification, you need 2 years of experience. You can count your paid work as part of the experience. So if you for this work 2 or 3 months, you can use that for your credit of those 2 years. But if you get paid, you cannot use it, basically. And then, or if you, sorry, no, not that you don't get paid. If you do it for credit, that's what I mean. You do it for credit. So whether or not you're paid or you're not paid, if you do it for credit, it doesn't count as professional experience or the IACP. It counts, it's like a class, right? An internship. So many of the students ask me, is this a planning internship? Some people go into working for a real estate company. Some people work for an educational advocacy organization, and they might not be sure if that counts as like for planning. So all that you need to do is like tell me how it relates to this. And this is in the manual, but this that you see here are values, knowledge, and skills that you earn as a planner in any accredited planning program. The planning accredited board put this list together, and this is what they consider planning. As you might know, planners can work in the nonprofit sector, in the private sector, in the public sector. Even though the majority, 70%, work in the public sector, you still have, like 26% that work some kind of private company. That might be real estate. Some of them might end up working in a nonprofit like education. So it kind of like really depends on what you will be doing, in which I would say, yes, this counts as planning experience. That will be something that you share with me on how it relates. Are there any questions so far? Okay, so how we already talked about that planning is like pretty diverse. You can find usually planning jobs in metropolitan planning organizations, maybe looking at the local housing authorities, nonprofits, government organizations, and so on. Again, like just look in the APA website usually has like good listing, the LinkedIn that we have every time that we hear about a job. I have been sending some jobs because some alumni or some people that know us send us a job, so I forward those things. You all should be already here in the Aggie Planners, because here is where we post some of those jobs. So I mostly like, if I post something, I usually try to do it in both places, but a lot of other faculty just post here. So that's it's kind of like why it's important to be here. And then, well, all of you have these, and we share these with people that were at the APA conference. I'm not sure, like, again, that part of the idea is like if people see you, they can contact you. In the past, there has been some students that are like contacted, but this time I was not in the conference, so I am not even sure. I don't have any details about people saying I will definitely check it out and I will actually contact your students. I don't know if any of you, like, if you can tell me, did you have interviews in the Texas APA conference or any leads or any networking that's useful towards this? It's more a question for you because again, I wasn't there, so I don't know. I'm gonna take that. That means no.
Someone
Yeah.
actually emailed me about AI. I don't know. Or like electronic AI review, but it
Okay,
has
so
nothing. Yeah, I don't think it was like a job
it's probably
opportunity.
not related to this,
But
right?
but yeah,
The
not
APA
like an internship.
conference. Gotcha. Okay. Well, the other thing is that you all should be like in touch with a mentor, right? So I highly encourage you to take that opportunity to just like meet with them and see if they have any feedback for you for your resume or for your cover letters, or maybe you can just generally talk to them about your goals and see if like they have any recommendations of, hey, have you check out this like firm or this organization and so on. So I don't know if like you all have been able to connect with like your mentor. I mean, I saw some emails that people responded, but I'm not sure. No, we will have to just like follow up again and see if again they are responding, or maybe it's like you guys have to respond. So oh yeah.
This week, we're going to have a follow-up email to all the mentors and students. So
Yeah, but for some of you that are here, have you heard from your mentor? Did they reply?
Yes, I had lunch with my mentor.
Okay. And same with Juan, I think that I saw an email. Because I want to make sure if the mentors are not, if they said that they wanted to volunteer, but then they don't follow up, then I need to know, because I want also for you guys to have a good experience. At the same time, it could be that they are responsive, but then you guys are not responsive, right? And so it's kind of like figuring out what's happening and just making sure that it's a good experience for both people. But thank you, Alaya, for sending also a reminder. Yeah, as I said, these other places that you can find jobs. There's like a list that we have like also going on with like past jobs, and I have asked Alaya to like, if she sees something, to put it in there. That is also in that guide. There is a like guide for internships. There's like links to those as well. So the idea is like, we can keep track of the opportunities as well. And I'm gonna like, these are just kind of like some examples from the years before of where students like got some of the jobs. And I haven't done actually the analysis for the last year. I should have, but I didn't have time. But this one is like from the previous year. Like the average payment that you should be expecting is about it was $21.73 at the time. The other thing is that you should know that private like working with a private organization, it's a little bit more likely in the internship. And the reason for this is because they have paid internships. In government sector, you see a lot of like unpaid internships. Again, I would not discourage you from going to the public sector once you graduate, but this is a trend that we have seen. You will also see this as a reflection in the career fair. So when you go to the career fair, there's like 60 firms that go there. There's actually no one from government that goes there. So that obviously has something to do with like how our students like find jobs as well, because firms are like highly motivated to find their best students and basically give them jobs after they graduate, which is a great thing as well, because that also increases your opportunity that you will get hired by the firm that offers you an internship. So I see that a lot. And again, like for international students, also there's a bias with like private companies, because then later on when you need a visa, they're more likely to pay for it. And the same thing that means for the internship, because like governments know that they will not be able to sponsor you perhaps in the future. And I think that there was a question. I don't know if you, so you're Juan being unmuted. Do you have a question?
I do have a question, but I'll ask it later. I'll ask it at the end.
Okay. And I see there's something in the chat. Okay, I got it. Just connected to the picture. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, like, this is just kind of like saying that just more like the steps of what you need to do. So you need to fill out a graduate variable credit course. Anytime that you take a course that basically you could take 1 hour or 3 hours. I mean, some students want to take like 3 hours for the internship, but I don't recommend that. I recommend 1 hour, 120. And the reason for that is because you will pay a lot less, right? But some students, if you need more credit hours, then you can put more. And then, I mean, some students also like, I don't know, like traditionally that they might feel, a lot of the international students put like three hours as well. I think it has to do because they need it, even though they don't need it for the program, they might need it to be able to be a part-time student or a full-time student in the summer. And there are some classes that you can take in the summer. Some of them are online. So they're taking summer classes anyway. And that variability kind of like helps them. So again, there's like some steps in there, but I will go like through some of these things. So what I have is this, like, basically I keep track of it in a simple Google Doc. There's a QR code there of like how you access this. I can like email this to everyone later, but what you need to do first before even filling this out is doing a variable credit form, because what I want you to do is like do that form, and then Latina does that in DocuSign, but then you can download it from there and put it here. So basically you fill out that form, then you give me additional information like description of your responsibilities. Well, actually the offer letter that they give you should include like some of these things, the number of hours that you work, like what they will pay you and what is the amount per hour. And another thing that is important for you when you get the offer letters is like who will supervise you. And if to see if there's any training or anything like that. But the supervisor is very important because like sometimes in some of the internships, you don't have like a one person that you report to. I have seen that in the past, that is a problem because nobody's responsible for you, basically. I see that a lot happening more in nonprofits, organizations that are like really small. I haven't seen it so much in the other sectors, but at the same time, what I'm trying to say, we want you to have like a good experience. So that's kind of like why we also ask employers for this kind of like additional information as well. So again, just make sure that you complete this. But before you do that, you need to complete this form. And then when in this sheet, which obviously I cannot show you because I cannot scroll down, but if you were to scroll down, it says how you are going to fill out this form. And then the other thing that I wanted to say, do you register for this course in absentia? That's the only, that will only be true if you're an international student that is going back to your home country and it's like not physically, again, located in the US. So that's the only time that you might fill that out. Again, or indicate in absentia, that's what that means. But the other form tells you how to fill this out. The other thing is that with this internship, you will sign up with me. So before, like a lot of faculty, people, students will like sign up with different faculty, which kind of make it hard to track everything. So now I am like doing this unless you are going to do research. If you're going to do research and you want to work with a professor in campus, then you should contact that professor and that professor will do the internship for you because basically he or she will be your supervisor for all of this, not only for the class, but also for the work or for the job. And again, I said this, but if you're doing a thesis, this is the only example that I have seen this happening. Although I have seen actually the majority of many of students doing an internship in industry or doing like research centers and still pursue a thesis as well. So what I'm saying is like experiences like outside are amazing and you should take the chance to do that if you are able to. Are there any questions so far? Okay, so, oh yeah, so this basically tells you how to fill out the form and the final report date, it will be kind of like specific to when you do it. So again, I said December 5th if it's the fall, but July 29, if it's like in the summer, and then you just basically fill this out, like what I'm telling you to do in that form. Then you need to do a report, and in the report, basically you just have to talk about your work experience. I mentioned basic facts, the responsibilities that you have, the everyday activity, the projects that you work with, the personnel, any deliverables, the skills that you develop. So it's kind of like more, you know, a basic description. Advice for future students also, like for working in that firm, that's also important for us to know. But then another part is more about like ethics and decision making. As you might know, the AICP Code of Ethics is like very important. So we want you to also be in the job and observe how people are acting. And again, just like trying to observe like more ethical practice. Sometimes it's unethical practice, but we want to hear about that and how you reflected on this again, on the IACP Code of Ethics. And a part of it is like, it helps you to, again, reflect on that because it's so important for us in the profession. And then we also want you to talk about the Planning Accreditation Board learning outcomes. That is like the values, knowledge, and skills that you should be gaining in the program. And again, just like there's other like just any writing, right? So something looking at that is well written, that you use outside sources if that was the case, and so on. And then you can, for these, remember that each faculty member has like their own guidelines on AI. So if they don't want you to use AI, you can get actually like a bad grade or not pass because of that. In my case, if you take the class with me, which is going to be the case for most of you, because most of you are going to do the internship, just not necessarily a research project. So I allow you to use it, but you tell me how you use it. So it's kind of like an attribution language in there. So if you use it to correct your grammar, just like tell me about that. If you use it to do more research about the IACP and have a conversation about it, just tell me about that. And obviously, like your contacts, it would be like me and Tina for anything that you need. I will open it up in questions. I have like a lot more slides, but they are about I will just leave it like this because you have the QR code. They're more about this guide. Maybe at a different time, I might talk about the guide, but I'm gonna leave it at that for just see if you have any questions. I think I throw a lot of things at you.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
How do we go about negotiating an offer?
I cannot hear. Can you repeat yourself?
Yes, yeah, so my question is, how do you go about negotiating an offer?
Oh, how you go about negotiating an offer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's okay. So you get your offer, right? This is like how much money is going to be. A way to like think about more is like, okay, like come up with like a rational decision of why you're also asking more. So it might be something like I have to move to Dallas, or I am paying like an apartment in College Station right now, right? And then I have to pay another apartment. So it could be more of like, okay, there's all these costs associated that they are not seeing, right? So I basically telling you about that. The other thing that people do often is like, I have an offer with so-and-so, or I'm waiting for an offer with so-and-so. And I think that in order for me to say yes right now, I think that I would be very happy with this much, right? I mean, that's another way of like negotiating as well. You always need to do your research. So how much are they paying people? And you can talk to other students about that. I mean, how much they got paid. As I show you I think this one is for the year before, so it might be like $20. I think that for previous year, for the year after this, it was like $24 on average. I can also look. Let me just look. I can also tell you like what is the most that students have gotten paid, so you know what is kind of like a upper range, and you can use that as a kind of like negotiation. Like I heard that other students are getting paid this much, right? And that will be like something that, again, is a good argument. Yeah, I guess I'm not. So the most I see here, somebody got paid $40. Again, because the average is up and down, then after $40, I see 35, 30, 27, 25, and 20. That's kind of what you see more, 25, 24. But the top was somebody got paid 40. So you could say something like that. Like I owe some of some of the graduates of the program are getting paid 40. Probably like 30 might be more likely, but an hour. But
Okay.
that's another way to do it.
Okay, thank you.
And also just kind of like know also where to do it, right? With like, if you're thinking about a company, then that might make sense. But I see this one, the person that actually got paid that much, it was with government. So it was a Brussels Transit District. That could be another thing that you could ask, like, you're gonna ask me and see what's the average for the firm for our students in the past, and I'll be happy to tell you. Yes, Damian.
When it comes to public sector, a lot of that's also public knowledge. So as you're going through through the process, you can easily do a public information request on the budgeted salary for those internships and then look at the matrix. So that's the one thing about public sector is that a lot of that is public knowledge.
Yeah, it's a great point.
Dr. Ivis,
Yes.
or Dr. Garcia, sorry. Do you mind going back to the slide with the LinkedIn group? I don't think I'm on it. I couldn't screenshot it.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Or if someone can just add me to it, I don't know if that's. I can just screenshot it.
Yeah. Hold on.
Unless if you're gonna send the slide though, I can just find it. I'm sorry. I'm just.
Oh yeah. So you can do that, but let me also find it here. Because I have this link. Yeah, you just need to request. Yeah, did you get it?
Through LinkedIn? Or
Yeah. Are there any other questions? Yeah, because I was trying to find you in LinkedIn, but I think I have to be connected with you. Okay, I don't know. But yeah, if you find it there, I'll be able to ask you.
okay.
I will also send the slides. Any other questions or thoughts?
I have another question.
Yes.
For the report, when is the last day to submit it?
So if it's the summer, it's like I think it was July 28th. And if it's the fall, it's December 5th. So basically it's when the semesters are over. So if you follow the calendar, right? What's the last time that I for final examination on the summer or the final examination on the, yeah. So again, July 28th and December 5th.
Okay, so yeah, so I did my internship this summer. So December 5th is the deadline for me then?
Yes.
Okay.
Just send an email to everyone to remind them of that. Yeah. Okay, any other questions or thoughts? The other thing I had, it was just an announcement that in the career fair, I think I didn't mention that, but the career fair is February 15th. And as I said, there will be like 60 firms that go to that. Basically, when they open, Latina sends an email and everybody signs up for spots because they have interviews for different positions. I will encourage you to just like, sign up to as many as possible, because even if you do like an interview, again, it doesn't mean that you just have to go to interviews and you might not do as well and you might need to practice. So just go as many as possible and don't keep it super like, oh, I just want to, do this specific thing. Just like try to kind of explore also other things as well. Because at the end of the day, you can always like if you have several offers, you can always like tell them, oh, I need like a little bit more time to decide, like give me 2 weeks or whatever that might be. What I'm trying to say is like, again, just like sign up when you see those. A lot of them, like what I see is like a lot of the undergrads end up signing up because there's a lot of them and then they just get in there. But it is a little bit like, again, free for all in terms of like signing them up for those interviews. You still can go and talk to each person table to table, but we will have people from the plan pack. We'll give them a table and they will also be doing mock interviews. So I will like make a sign up so only like you guys will have access to just do that. Basically just like practice an interview. They don't have jobs, but they're like nice enough to volunteer in that way for us. Okay, well, if there's no more questions, I will send the link, right? And then I will check for Eman to request. And also I will send an email about submitting the final reports for the students that still need to do that by December 5th. Is there any other follow-ups?
Thank you, Dr. Ivis.
All right. Well, thank you. Enjoy your weekend. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.